Hello, hello. Happy Monday. We are on March 8th, and I didn't even have to check that today. I know what day it is because tomorrow is my birthday, and so I'm very much looking forward to jumping over to the next round of expressions with myself, and true to every birthday I've had since I've been here in the world. There's been a big life review and kind of resetting and deciding, what do I want to keep, what do I want to release. So it was kind of the spring cleaning for me. And so I'm looking forward to sharing with you all today some of the kind of the revelations and the experiences I've had over the past several days leading up to this time. Also, we're heading into the spring equinox, and that's again another kind of ending of an astrological cycle. So for me, I have a kind of a double dose, and for all you Pisceans out there, you might be experiencing this as well. Maybe the intensity. And like I was saying last week, it's a mixed bag. Just the general time we're in right now, there is this availability of just so much more magic and like being able to connect in with the beyond the veil, and really the true structure of what makes up our world and our existence, and beyond the truth of our nature and our being. And at the same time, the distortion, the forgetting, the other realities of the density are also in our face. So we're looking at we're navigating very different atmospheres in our world, within our being. So it takes a strength, it takes fortitude, strength of spirit and fortitude to move forward in integrity and just keep it up and continue to up level your expectations, your your expectations of life, your intentions, what you're available for in each and every moment, each and every breath. We really have to be impeccable within ourselves as to what we are permitting and what we are saying, okay, I've had enough of that. Because the thing is, the more we allow the old storyline, the density, to continue to rule our reality, it happens so much more quickly. It catches on, and the lag it doubles and triples and quadruples so much more quickly now. We have to stay on top of it. And I don't mean running, I just mean being conscious, being present, being intentional about our life and how we live, and our inner landscape. Like I was referring to, I think in my last video, where we're being asked to be proactive about self-care and going inside of ourselves and noticing where our blind spots are, where our limitations are, where are the outer realms of our boundaries, our growth points, and then begin to address them now versus coming smack into them and having to deal with them at a later point. Okay, all that being said, let's first do the clear our space. Use a feather, use your finger, just bring your hands to your heart, whatever works for you. But we're going to clear, bathe, bless, purify, harmonize, and divinitize this space, this communication, this platform, this video, all who are participating either in this now or at future times. Aligning with the highest light, clearing out, releasing any density. Yep, I'm watching that right now. And setting our intentions on what we want to create in this time together. And may this platform, the space that you're in, be clear, bathed, blessed, purified, harmonized, and divinitized, along with your body and all the aspects of your being. Inviting the layers of your higher self to come back to you now, to magnetize, to draw back in, come home to yourself. And as we're doing this clearing and intention setting, we're making room, making space for more of you to return back home. Mm-hmm. Good. All right. Rub your hands together. Clap them a couple times. Just clear the space. Deep breath in through your nose. Out through your mouth. Hands on the heart. Feel the pulse. Feel the tinkling of your hands. Feel your heartbeat. Feel the happenings in your internal landscape in your body. And just asking what your heart, your body, your mind, your spirit wants to create in this time together. What do you want to get out of it? And I'm just going to ask that this gathering, this healing and offering today is easy, graceful, uplifting, assistive, amplifying, accelerating for your journey, and affirming of who you are and how you be, and that you find deeper levels of permission and embodiment. Good. And just breathing your column of light up into your body. Exhale, send the light from your heart down to the core of Mother Earth. Inhale it up to your heart. Exhale, up above your head to your highest self. Back in and down. And I'm just going to invite you to bring a pillar, pearlescent gold pillar, one in each corner of your space. Defining that space with 4 pearlescent gold walls, floor and ceiling. Today I just, I've seen this for the past week or so. There's just, sometimes there's interference energy. I think there's a new kind of level of information coming through. And so we're just going to be really clear about this space we're creating here, that I'm creating, and then that you each can do for yourselves, because to be able to do it yourself that's where the power is, to apply these tools. And releasing any distortion. Calling in, I'm just going to call in my highest team here to really create a sacred boundary around drawing a line about what we're talking about and creating here. And inviting in our team's highest self into this now. And so for me, I'm feeling and sensing my family of light. A team of light coming in here. And I'm breathing up and down my spine and column of light. Truth, peace, purity, unconditional love, harmony. Okay. All right. I'm going to pull a card here. Just set your intention on what you would like to receive or hear today for yourself. What message needs to come through for you. Okay, 2 cards. Okay, so we have Aether, which is the seamless unspeakable, and then we have the root chakra, which is ground and center. And this, I think we're working with these 2 elements actually today. The etheric part of our being, and then the grounded, rooted human body part as well. So I'm just going to read, and I believe I pulled this card recently for you all. So let me see here what we have to say. Aether is the seamless unspeakable, 0 point field, the void, blank canvas, threshold, anything is possible, time to choose what you want to bring into your life, endless possibilities, limitlessness, and paradox. It's too elusive to define, too elusive and mysterious to define. knowing without words, spaces in between, life force energy. Okay, and then the root chakra, as many of you know, it's located around the pelvic floor of the body and goes out the tailbone. That's the energy center there. And so the earth star chakra is the root chakra is ground and center, foundations, grounding, basic needs, survival, physical identity, responsibilities, the place where we build our lives, time and nature. And so the themes are home, foundations, physical bases, and responsibilities. And the healing position is at the base of the spine and groin. All right, so that's to be expected because I'm going to be going into talking about the body and my experience that I had earlier this week. So I did, a lot of times I have a series of meditations that I listen to, but I was called to listen to one, particularly in the evening. And I found, as I was going to bed, I was laying there, what I noticed in this meditation was the intelligence, like my body had this kind of like, it was like 2-3 inches off my body, this gold kind of emanation and glow off of it. And it wasn't like this otherworldly thing. It was just like a glow, but it had an intelligence to it. And I realized in that moment that was my body's intelligence. And so in the training I've been through, it's the soul. That's the human incarnational intelligence. We have the spirit self who comes in, our higher self, that comes in and is a spirit in a body. But then the body itself, the organs, the tissues, all these pieces coming together form an intelligence, and it's enlivened by this soul self. It is a human, it is the thing that activates our bodies, essentially. And what I noticed was in this meditation, as the gold was emanating out of the body, this was the intelligence, and I was seeing it and feeling and connecting with it on a new level here. And in my visual, in my mind's eye, because my information comes a lot from clairvoyance, which is seeing. I have the knowing and the intuitive hits and sound, but vision is a common one. For you, it might come in differently, but I was seeing a vision of my higher self kind of beaming in to my body, to my form, but then there was this big gap or canyon between my higher self and the body, and there just felt like some kind of disconnect or discord. And so I sat with that, and my body was showing me a lot of different pictures, and it wasn't necessarily pretty. It felt very destructive, actually, and there was like a burning kind of sensation. And so I just wrote it out, went to sleep, and I woke up the next morning, and I went and meditated and listened to my body, and I realized that there's been a lot of activation, there's been a lot of new energy coming in, and that my poor body was feeling left out, and it was actually afraid. It was afraid of dying. On my journey, it has not been an easy one for me, and my body has really been through some ups and downs, and the effects of some awakenings have been very kind of destructive and just very, very disruptive. And that's why I do the work that I do, to support each of you in making that not so shitty, to be honest. And we all have our path, but that was just mine. And so, there was some hesitancy there, but really at the end of the day, my body, when I tapped into it, it was just like, am I gonna die? And my heart kind of broke for this part of me. And what's happening, y'all, is, and many light workers, many of us have known this, there is a blending. We're bringing heaven on earth, and we're bringing a different type of technology and capacity into this human form. There have been a lot of ancient sites, what I've talked about, like technology sites in our bodies that have yet to be activated, but there's also new technology that can help support these updates, and that's what I'm sensing has been coming in. And our bodies don't necessarily, they're not hip to all the the new lingo coming in. We need to talk to them. We need to work with them and like reassure, reaffirm. So in some ways, yes, there is a death happening because the memories, the way it once worked, isn't so anymore. That's the ask. The ask is to move into a different way of being in the body. And so what we're being kind of directed into is having these moments where we tap in and listen to what our body needs, because without the working together, without the co-creative getting on board aspect of the body, the spirit self won't be able to come in. And let me think here. So what I was noticing for myself, how I noticed the resistance, one, I had that meditation and I noticed the body feeling left out and it being afraid of dying. But over the past weeks, I felt a sluggishness. I felt a lot of sorrow, and some of that is just me expanding into new ways of being, expanding to my boundaries and then pushing beyond that, releasing old density, and so having a lot of like heaviness around that. But I was also noticing like weight gain, you know, a couple pounds, like, and just not shedding. And so I knew something was up. But since I connected with my body, that weight has come off just like that. And this is not like a diet, you know, magic pill thing, but when the body is seen and heard and can go settle down and say, okay, you're going to work with me, you're not working against me, it can then hop on board and everybody can come together. I'm speaking specifically to you empaths, you sensitive souls, you who have had trouble historically being in your body or embodying. Your edges will be, let's just say, tested, because our superhuman qualities and capacities are being turned on and activated. The levels and realms of divine experience and intelligence that we're able to activate and connect into are becoming more and more accessible and more vast. And as that goes, we're going to continue to be pushed. So I want each of you, I'm feeling this strongly now, so this is a message that needs to come through. Each of you out there, we are kind of at the forefront. We're being asked to embody a technology that hasn't been done before. And I've talked about this before. It's been, you know, it's nothing kind of relatively new, but there's not really manuals for this. So it's not necessarily easy, but you've got this. You've got the seed in your heart, in your being, to do this, to connect the divine intelligence of your soul self into your human form and activate in a way and live life in a way beyond your wildest human dreams, let's say. This capacity and ability is within you. And I'm speaking across space and time right now because I'm seeing the bigger trajectory here. And so as we go along, you're going to be pushed more and more to step into limitations and beliefs and walk through them, that like step through old limitations and beliefs that have historically held you back. And it's going to get more and more real, more and more in your face. And the reason it's so real and painful is that it's just, you're pushing through like a membrane, you're moving through. But what's going to assist you the most, at least from where I stand right now, is hooking up, connecting in to your beautiful body. Because there's been a way that the spiritual communities have separated out. And this is probably old teaching here, 10, 20 plus years ago, where the body and the spirit were seen kind of as separate. We weren't honoring the body. But I tell you, this unit that you came in with is a divine piece of machinery. It has feelings, it has needs, it has wants, it has hurts, it has stories to tell, and it needs to be heard. But its ability to communicate is rather, it's like a young child. And so it reacts in kind of pure innocence in a way. And so we think of a child or an animal, you know, and their kind of innocence and just the simplicity in which they view life. That's your body. And so we really need to take its hand and encourage it, support it along the way, not forcing it, not berating it, not punishing it for it just being here. And I am sure that I know that this has been taught over and over and over by many different teachers. My intelligence has taken it in on a whole new level, and I want to open that learning up for each of you. I'm bringing the torch here from what I've learned, and perhaps it will inspire or connect in with a part of you, a part of your being. Part of you will be witnessed or heard or appreciated, and it will help you, you know, in the next steps of your path. Okay, so first things first with this, and I've been talking about this, but when you are finding the edges of your boundary, when you are in the depths of despair, when you're feeling all that shit just come back around one more freaking time, know that this is you expanding. This is no more the same cycle happening over and over. You are expanding. Just think of like you have been living on 10 acres of land. You are now expanding, whether you realize it or not, to 20 acres. And then 50. And then it's moving to like 500. Like the jumps are getting bigger, exponentially bigger and bigger and bigger. And so it takes a while for all of our being to catch up. And so really right now, many of us, especially if you're connecting into this call at some point, you're feeling and you're listening in your heart, and this is resonating with you on some level, even to the point like you can still stay on this call. Your being has probably expanded 10 times over in just since the beginning of this year. And there are so many parts of you that are like, whoa, wait. You know, catch me up here. What is going on? You know, and so it has to kind of go through the emails and get caught up on what's actually happening. And the way that I'm seeing to help support this is to talk to the body, work with your body. And then the higher self and that intelligence can come in. Okay, let me see. So retraining yourself when you have the pains, the shortcomings, those things come up again, that's your opportunity knocking on your door. The pain in the ass is here again, so you can then move beyond it. And so just taking that stimulus is not as a sign of failure, but that you are moving beyond. You're ready to move beyond and you're pushing your boundary. Okay, let me see if there's any other note I need to make before I move into this practice that we'll do with your team to help you connect in. Experience, practice, yeah. So ultimately here, we're working on the theme for this is, partnering with the body's intelligence, but it's embodiment. And so this is simply a phase of embodiment. And in order to make that happen, we have to talk to these more basic levels, innocent levels of ourself, so everyone's on board. They're kind of like that's the final stop here. And so if you can have your higher self and then the body, you know, then you can work with in between. But if you're not even getting down, like your higher self, its communication is not even able to get into your form, and your body's like, oh hell no, I don't know what you're gonna do, you're gonna murder me, then nothing's really gonna happen. You're gonna be stuck, you're gonna be frustrated, you're gonna be spinning, there's gonna be more discord, there's gonna be more disconnect, frustration, because the creative impulse won't be able to follow through because it can't travel down to your expressive creative centers in your body. You'll feel ungrounded. The body might show, have issues that come up, physical, emotional issues, expressions come up because it doesn't feel safe and supported. So let's just go straight to the source. Talk to your body. I'd encourage you, If you're watching this, if you can lay down. I think this will be a good one. Let me get a drink of water here. Okay. So my team, my light family team has come in today to support this. All right, so laying down, finding a comfortable space for you to be in. Shake it out. Shake your day, your week, your month out. Let your heart rest. And then drop back down and in. And while you're dropping in, release, kind of like a waterfall, any of that buildup, that anxious energy, that accumulation that causes anxiety. It almost creates an unprocessed emotion and events and times when you haven't neutrally separated, that creates like an acidic output in your body, and that creates that emotional charge, anxious charge in the body. And so we're just going to unplug, give it all back, whatever isn't yours, back to the source of its origin. Yeah, and I'm just going to invite you to put on a pearlescent gold altar outside of you anything that you're ready and willing to kind of release and look at. And your soul just knows what needs to be done. We're just trying to kind of support you from getting from point A to point B. All right. Come into your heart. And now there is a pearlescent gold melting down above your head. And our intention here is to create a safe, grounded space where it is easy, graceful, and fun to be in the body, where it is restorative, affirming, grounding, safe, rejuvenating, and inspiring. And this gold is just flowing down from the left, from the top of your head, your seventh chakra, from the left brain to the right, left hemisphere to the right, and back and forth, creating an infinity loop here, just harmonizing. Saying hello to your body. Now it's washing down towards your inner ears, down the back of your eye sockets, behind your eyes, sinuses and cheeks, in your mouth, teeth, and jaw. Really, it has a resonance, a feel of like I love you. And then now it's going to the throat and the base of the skull. Yeah, and just saying hello as this viscous pearlescent gold then travels down the throat and the neck. And down towards the heart. And it goes left and right down the shoulders, wrapping, coating the bones, seeping into each vertebra of the spine, traveling around the muscles, the tendons of your arms, and through the bones of your arms all the way to your hands, And then moving down into the thoracic cavity, your chest here. Front and back, coating the front and the back body, the muscles, the fascia, the tendons and ligaments. And let's just let both of these, the front and the back, slide down, flow down the front and the back body, feeling both sides of your being coated, absorbing. Yep. Front and back all the way down to your feet, and let that weightiness just hold you, cocooning you front and back. You are safe. Great. And now we'll continue with that flow of gold down the neck. We're going to move into the lungs as the lungs split off left to right, down into the heart, the sides of your rib cage coating the inside of your rib cage, your diaphragm. Taking a breath in, front, back, side to side to affirm this new space. And then flowing down into the stomach. So the way we digest life here, this is one of the beginning parts, short of the eyes and the mouth taking in life. Yep. And so just notice if you have any like little tingles, releases, spasms. Okay, and then flowing into the kidneys. Let's go to the kidneys behind the back body and the adrenal glands. Washing, rinsing them through. So this practice is just taking us through all the intelligence centers of the body. So these are like departments of the intelligence of your body. All your organs. Okay, and so moving into the liver. Ooh. Liver can hold quite a bit of anger if it's left to kind of stew and brew and isn't given the space to release. Yeah. So if you need to release the right side. I feel a lot coming out of the right throat here. And then moving over to the gallbladder. Gallbladder helps to break down fats when we're digesting. And then the spleen and pancreas. Pancreas, spleen. Just saying hello. Now moving into the small intestine. That's the first line of the intestinal tract that receives food after going through the stomach. Okay. And then going into the large intestine it goes up the right side of your body, across the body, just underneath your diaphragm, and then down the left. Filling with gold here, releasing, kind of almost coffee pressing out, and then moving into the bladder. And the reproductive organs. Mm-hmm. And while we're here holding the space with the reproductive organs, I also want to bring in the endocrine system of the thymus, which is behind your sternum, and the thyroid at your throat, and the pituitary, hypothalamus, and pineal glands in the center of the brain, filling them with gold and helping them to anchor down. Good. And then watching this gold swirl down, like a spiral down your legs, coating the muscles and the tendons here, and then down through the bones and the bone marrow, all the way to your feet. Yeah, and there's quite a bit there at that junction in the hips. It's just like there's, in yoga practice, there's in the hips, they hold so much emotion and memory. And the way I see it, a lot of times in that joint where the thigh bone meets the hip socket, there's quite a bit there, and in the marrow, inside the bones there. Not only in the thigh bone, but in the hip as well, the pelvis. So much loss and pain here that can accumulate. Okay. And just feeling the weightiness of your body and being here now. And simply asking, what do you need? Body, how can I support you? How can I better love you, nurture you? What are your fears, wants? Mm-hmm. And as you're doing this, I'm holding space while you have your conversation. I'm going to hold space for your higher self to come in and have the conversation and make the connections. Yeah, there's a weaving back together here. Okay. It's all right. This is all within divine design and is exactly how it needs to be. The expectations, the shouldn'ts, allowing them to fall away from your grounding, from how you move forward in the world. Yeah, and giving that old pattern and old storyline to the center of the earth, to the crystalline core, letting it be recycled. So whatever you're releasing right now, it's almost like these are the foundational things you learned in 2nd grade, and now you're moving to 5th grade. Because that's the time we're in. We just kind of skip grades at this point. We get the lessons we need, but it's just much faster. And so there's an okayness with recycling the lessons from 2nd grade, because you're now building. You're building from a bigger place. You're building into something. You're growing into something much bigger. Okay, and so now I just see this seed or flower, something dropping from around your 2nd chakra, dropping down into the earth. You're horizontal, you're laying down, and I just see this seed, something dropping down into the earth to support you. This is good because it's just saying your body is feeling heard, seen, safe, and can do its part. If you try to force things with the body without respecting it and having a conversation, it's like a Chinese finger trap. It just gets tighter and tighter and tighter, constricts more and more. Yeah, just have some release. I got some burps. Good. So third chakra, below the diaphragm, it's releasing. This is our human. This is being here. Willpower, will, expression of power in the world. I'm going to say it all the different ways. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I feel y'all like connecting in now. Like there's been this, okay, there's been a plugging in of the two units, the higher self and the body. There's more conversation to be had, but there's, kind of like a handshake, like, okay. And the wisdom self of you. So there's a part of you that's like the mediator between these two. As you go along in your journey, you might notice there's many different aspects of you, of your being. You're not just this one-dimensional being. But there's the body part of you, there's the higher self, but then there's this mediator who kind of, really helps direct the show, the observer. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. This part of you stepping up even more and kind of directing your life. Because when I talk about higher self, there is a part of you that wants to be lived and seen and known in this now. That is the higher version, expression of you. But in order to make that happen, there's got to be kind of like a middle person, a middle aspect who's saying, okay, I see this, I'm intending for that, and hello, body, I'm knocking on your door. We're going to work together here as a team. So that's how I'm seeing it. Feel it for yourself. That's how I feel it for me. Keep what resonates and release the rest. Okay, but the most important thing, good. Now I feel your feet connected to the ground. Check your feet chakras. Check your line up your legs to your sit bones, your buttocks. Does your pelvic bowl, like this, feel like it opened up a little bit? Does your spinal column feel like it dropped down just a little bit? Does your back body feel a little more secure and less gappy? Less exposed? Does your belly feel a little less tight or anxious, and all the while at the same time calming, soothing your heart? Does your breath feel a little smoother, more expansive? And how's your vision? Clear vision, almost like so many times, this is us in the now, this is us living in the future, this is us living in the past. So many times we're like living in the future, we can't get the perspective. And so what's happening here is you're rocking back into your midline, your center line, your center, your pillar. And you have teammates now. Okay. All right. I'm just going to ask that this be sealed into the core of the earth. This information flow back up. So basically your crystal in the center of the earth, your kind of like your computer chip is being updated, your storage. Okay, and it's going to be reflected back to you, supporting your continued evolution, the continued expansion of your life force and presence, your technology, and the embodiment of your highest expressions, and being able to ride these waves of awakening or ascension with ease and grace. All right. Yep, everyone seems to be in alignment. Y'all, there's going to be adjustments along the way. There'll be little bumps along the road. There'll be things that you'll need to shift around. But this is kind of a great starting point for you because you've now gotten these parts of you talking and connected in. And so that can't be reversed. You can't lose it. The connection has been made, and so the memory is there. So even if you get distracted in time, you'll return back to this or something even more connected. Okay? So I'm going to step back. Thank you. Do you have any questions? Anything you want to share? And I'm going to return all energy to you, clear, bathed, blessed, purified, harmonized, and divinitized, and receive my energy back. Cleared, bathed, blessed, purified, harmonized, and divinitized. Good. And that's my neutral separations, returning energy back to its owner and receiving mine back. And so that's something, a tool to practice in your day-to-day life. Okay, well, thank you all for being here today. It's very much been an honor and pleasure. I was really excited to share this kind of revelation with all who will take part in the video at some point. Also just want to make note, my group healings that are held every Saturday, this is the last week with Melanie before she has her baby, and then I will be doing about approximately 6 weeks of group healings just with me. Same time, same bat channel, all that, just it'll be me running it. And we'll probably have a theme, but it will just be working, we'll still be doing the healings. Also, I am starting up a group mentorship. It's going to be a small group of people, probably about 4 to 8 people at the most, people who can kind of stand on their own 2 feet, be in their process, who are ready for the next level of expression, and who are also ready for community. This will be a really transformative 4-week period. We'll have weekly group calls, and there'll be a one-on-one session with me included, as well as a couple group healings. If you're interested in that, feel free to reach out to me or check out the links on my bio. And I'm here anytime. Thank you for participating, and until next time, be well.